A black woman was hired as a waiter in a luxurious restaurant. She didn't know that one of her customers was the father of a disabled boy. The woman had no idea that he would bring his son to the restaurant one day, and that she would become his caregiver. The woman had no idea that the child's father was a billionaire. This is the incredible story of how a waitress changed the life of a disabled boy without even knowing it. There were many people in the upscale restaurant who wanted to be servers, but they couldn't get the job because the owner chose a black woman for the position. When she first started working at the restaurant, she was paid very little, but she was given tips that made up for it. She put all of her energy into her work because she wanted to make enough money to go back to school and finish her nursing degree. She had put it off for so long because she had to work and take care of her younger siblings. It was difficult for her to carry the heavy trays full of food and drinks, but she never complained. Every evening when she got off work, she went to a little apartment where she lived with her brother and 2 nieces. When she arrived home, she would study for hours before going to bed. Despite the fact that her boss paid her very little, she never asked for more money. She was given a lot of tips by the restaurant's patrons, which made up for her low wages. One day, a strange man sat down at one of the tables. He was well dressed and carried a walking stick. He ordered a cup of coffee and sat there for hours, sipping it. The lady noticed him because he kept looking at her as she worked. When she brought him his check, he paid it and left without saying a word. The next day, he returned and sat at the same table. Again, he ordered a cup of coffee and stayed for hours. The woman was surprised when she saw him sitting at the same table again, but she didn't think much of it. She believed he was simply a regular customer who liked to sip coffee while watching the world go by. For the next few days, he continued to show up, order a cup of coffee, and leave after a few hours. The woman couldn't understand why he kept coming to the restaurant when he had nothing to eat or drink. One day, the woman decided to confront the man and inquire about his unusual behavior. She approached the table where he was sitting and asked him if everything was okay. The man appeared to be startled by her presence and quickly apologized for not paying attention. He explained that he was an old man who had lost his wife and that the only thing that kept him going was his love for his son. He said that he visited the restaurant every day to look out the window and watch people because he was too ill to go outside. When she heard his sad story, the woman felt sorry for him and promised to bring him some food and company. She began bringing him food from the restaurant's kitchen, which he ate with relish. They talked about various topics, including the man's late wife and his son. The man told the woman that his son was born with a disability and that he required full-time care. He also informed her that he was the wealthiest man in the city and that he could pay her a large sum of money if she agreed to become his son's caregiver. The woman was taken aback by his offer, but she turned it down. She informed him that she had no intention of abandoning her job at the restaurant. The man persisted in his offer, and after much thought, the woman finally agreed. She began visiting the man and his son on a daily basis, and she soon realized that the son required more attention than his father had anticipated. She fell in love with the boy and did everything she could to make him happy. The man was overjoyed to find such a caring person willing to look after his son. He kept showering the woman with expensive gifts, but she refused to accept them. She only requested that he pay for her son's education, to which he gladly agreed. Years passed, and the boy grew up to be a successful young man. He graduated from university and began working in his father's company. The woman was overjoyed to see how far her foster son had come, and she knew that she had played an important role in his life. The boy's father was also very grateful to the woman for taking care of his son, and he made sure to reward her for her hard work. He paid for her to finish her nursing degree, and she became a successful nurse. Once they were both married with children, the woman never forgot the valuable lesson she learned from the boy's father. She understood that no amount of money could buy happiness, and that the most important things in life were family, friends, and love. And that was the end of the story. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like the video.